What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be talking about the best features of Asus Zenfone Max M2 along with some important tips and tricks. As usual, I'll be talking about the best features first and then showing the tips and tricks, so if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead, but make sure you check out the tips and tricks section for sure. Now with that said, the first best thing about this phone is the performance. This phone sports a Snapdragon 632 processor with Adreno 506 GPU. These are the Antutu and Geekbench cores. Now for the price, there are definitely better alternatives, but if you're looking for a phone with a Snapdragon processor, that too with a display notch and a massive battery, then this is the cheapest option you get. Now the next best thing about this phone would definitely be the battery life. This phone sports a massive 4000 mAh battery, and despite that, it has a very sleek form factor and weighs pretty less. It doesn't feel all that heavy, so you do get better battery life along with a sleeker form factor, which is a rare combination. Now the next best thing about this phone would be its display. This phone sports a 6.26-inch IPS display with HD plus resolution, 430 nits of brightness, and 88% screen to body ratio. You also get that famous notch. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the pure stock Android experience. Right out of the box, this phone is running pure stock Android based on Android 8.1.0, that's Oreo. It will be getting Android Pie update pretty soon in a month or two, and it will also be getting regular security and software updates every alternative month. That's another advantage of having stock Android. Now going on next, this phone has support for portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras right out of the box. For some reason, Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 didn't get portrait selfie right out of the box, but this phone got it from the start. Now going on next, this phone even comes with a dedicated SD card slot. If you need a lot of storage, or even if you are tight on a budget and get the 32GB variant, you can still pop in an SD card and have access to a lot more storage. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the speaker loudness. This phone comes with a 5-magnet speaker and an amplifier. Despite what all these specifications say, speaker on this phone is pretty loud. Here's a quick preview. Now the next feature on this phone is Face Unlock. Even though this phone comes with pure stock Android or so-called pure stock Android, it still has the famous Face Unlock feature and it works quite well. Next we have Ambient Display. Now once you enable this feature, every time you get a notification, display lights up and gives you a quick preview of that notification. By the way, you still have the LED notification light, just in case if you're wondering. Next, it has a feature called Smart Screen. So once you enable this feature, as long as you're looking at the phone, your phone doesn't sleep. Now this feature might be really useful if you read a lot on your phone. Next, it has a feature called Nightlight. On other phones, it's called as night mode or reading mode. So once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and filters the blue light. According to a research, using smartphones at night will affect your sleep because of the blue light emitted by the display. So once you enable this feature, it filters all the blue light by putting a warm tint on the screen. You can also change the intensity of the tint and schedule it to turn on and turn off automatically. Next we have a gesture to double tap to turn off the screen. So once you enable this feature, you can double tap on an empty area on your home screen to turn it off, or you can double tap in an empty area on the lock screen to turn off the screen. Next we have double tap to wake up. Once you enable this feature, you can double tap when your phone is locked to wake it up. This feature can be quite useful if you use Face Unlock a lot. Just double tap the screen, it'll wake up, see your face, and then unlock the phone immediately. Now going on next, this phone even supports dual 4G and dual VoLTE. So on this phone, we can use 2 Geo SIMs at the same time and use 2 SIMs in 4G network at the same time. With that said, there is still no support for native video calling. So guys, those were all the best features. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. First, I'll show you how you can use split screen mode. On this phone or any other phone out there, if you want to use 2 applications at the same time, you can press and hold the recent tabs button and the current application will open in split screen in the top window, and you can select the secondary application from the list below. In this way. Now you can drag this center bar up or down to resize these windows. Now as you can see, I'm not able to do that because display size is too big. So to fix that, first we need to go to settings, and once we are in settings, select display settings. Now select advanced and then select display size. then select small. Now once you do that, everything will become much smaller. You'll have much more screen real estate. Now when you open any application in split screen mode, just like before, we can resize these applications. Now in this way, we can watch video and do some other stuff at the same time. So that's split screen mode, and even now there are many applications that still do not support the split screen mode. So to use all applications in split screen mode, this is what you need to do. Go to settings, then select system, then select about phone, then click on build number 7 times. Once you do that, developer options will be enabled. Now go back a step and then select developer options. Now scroll all the way to the bottom and then enable force activities to be resizable. Now once you do that, restart your phone and you will be able to use all the applications in the split screen mode. Now for some very quick tips, while watching videos on YouTube, you can do a pin gesture to go full screen. I guess this is something very basic and you might have already known about it. Anyway, going on next, if you want to display battery percentage on the status bar, you need to go to settings, then select battery and enable this toggle that says battery percentage. Once you do that, battery percentage will be displayed on the status bar. Now going on next, if you want to change your default browser, default messaging application or your default launcher, this is what you need to do. Open settings, then select app and notification. Now scroll and then select advanced, then select default apps. And from here you can change your default browser to something from Google Chrome to something else. You can change your default launcher from the default launcher to say something like Nova Launcher from here, and so on. Now finally, I'll show you how you can change the theme on your phone. Now there are 2 themes on your phone, default one and dark mode, and there is no option to enable it or disable it. Depending upon the wallpaper you have, theme changes automatically. If you have a lighter wallpaper, you'll have the default theme that's with a white background on the notification toggles, and this is how the app drawer looks like. Now if we change the wallpaper to something more darker, theme might change. So this is the darker theme. The looks of notification area has been changed and this is how the app drawer looks now. So with a darker wallpaper, you'll have a darker theme, and with a lighter wallpaper, you'll have a lighter theme. By the way, this double tap to change wallpapers is not inbuilt. I use an application called Wallpaper Changer for that. Anyway, next I'll show you how you can change the theme of your messaging application and phone dialer. So this is a phone dialer and this is the default messaging application. Now to change the theme of these 2 applications, open the default messaging application. Now click this button over here, then select enable dark mode. Now once you do that, dark mode will be enabled for the messaging application and even for the phone dialer. So this is how it looks like. Now finally guys, this phone even has the option to cast your screen to a Chromecast or Mirrorcast. So to do that, go to settings, then select connected devices. Now select cast to cast the screen of your phone to your MITV, TV or your Chromecast. So guys, these are the best features and most important tips and tricks for your Asus Zenfone Max M2. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.